We're not going to do everybody, if everybody has a verse, we're going to not do all the verses this week. So if you have a verse that we don't get to today, you can say it in class, okay? So here's what I'm going to do. I'll pick, and I'm going to do 4 people today, okay? So 4 people. And if you want to say it in class, you can do that in class, or you can save it for next week.
Zabihiri meskin, Zabihiri meskin, Zabihiri meskin, Zalara geni nege, Zabihiri meskin, Zabihiri meskin, Zabihiri meskin, Zalara geni nege, aha ha ha ha, hallelujah, hallelujah, 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 Zabihiri meskin, Zabihiri meskin, Zabihiri meskin, Zalara geni nege, Zabihiri meskin, Zabihiri meskin, Zabihiri meskin, Zalara geni nege, aha ha ha ha, hallelujah, hallelujah, aha ha ha ha, hallelujah, hallelujah, aha ha ha ha, hallelujah, hallelujah, aha ha ha ha, hallelujah, hallelujah.
That's okay.
Second Kings 6:16. Don't be afraid, Elijah told him, for there are more on our side than theirs. Philippians chapter 4 verse 19. And my God will meet all your needs according to the riches of his glory, Christ Jesus.
I got one more, okay?
No, I got it. The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right path for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkness light, I will not fear evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemy. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
All right, so save your verse, or you can say it in class today if you want, all right? I'm really excited that you're excited about God's Word. I'm really excited about that. All right, I got a question for you. Why are you at church today?
To worship.
To worship? Huh.
Because of Christ.
Because of Christ?
To spread the gospel.
To spread the gospel? Yeah. Right? What else? To hear God's Word? Right? To be able to hear God's voice. So you can worship, yeah, right? What else? Spread kindness. Well, let me say, you know what? I expected you to say all those things. And those are all good things, but do you know really why you're here today? It's because God wanted you here today. You see, it was God's purpose that you show up today to church. Even if you didn't want to be here, if it was God's purpose, guess what? You're going to be here. You see, God is always working, right? We've talked about for weeks. I think we're on week 10 of what we've been learning in class. And we're talking about the providence of God, that God is always providing and always working. And you know that God is always working, but you know there's times that we don't see God's working. And we have to trust, right? So God works, and we don't always see that God's working or how He's working. It's kind of like this. And we'll talk about this in class too, but what does a caterpillar turn into? A butterfly. Who sees it turn into a butterfly? Oh, God, right. Do you see it? No, why? Because it's in a cocoon, right? You see, that's a lot like how God works, right? This caterpillar goes into this cocoon, and this process happens, and then it comes out a butterfly, right? So you see, sometimes God's ways, this is what we're going to learn about today. You ready for this? It's called hidden providence. Hidden providence. And all that means is this, is that we don't always see how God's working, but God is always working, and His plan and His ways is always perfect. If you don't believe me, I'm going to read you a verse. Listen to this. It's going to be our verse for today. It's in Isaiah 55, verses 8 through 9. It says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are my ways your ways, declares the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts higher than your thoughts." So what that tells us is that the way that we think something should look, that's not always God's way. And God's way is always perfect, right? All right.
Unless you asked him.
Right? Oh, yeah. All right. We need somebody to pray. You want to pray? We're going to have two prayers. After Brooke prays, we're going to have another prayer, okay?
Thank you for this church. Thank you for everything. Thank you for the earth. I put in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Our Father, holy name, Your kingdom come, Your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today the food we need. Forgive us our sins, and we forgive those who have sinned against us. God will not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For yours is the kingdom, the power, and glory, forever and ever. Amen.